Be implementing a $1.3 billion border plan where they talk about reinforcing the border. I should note that's actually something that Trudeau announced and Canada announced back in December, about mid-December.
We launched a $1.3 billion border plan that is already showing results because we too are devastated by the scourge that is fentanyl, a drug that is torn apart communities and caused so much pain and torment for countless families across Canada, just like in the United States.
Trump is great at starting a problem where there is no problem. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And yes, I'm your boy AT2, and we should be thanking Joe Biden because all this stuff happened underneath his presidency, but Trump is taking credit for it. So first, let's start with Mexico. So as you guys know, Mexico is not going to impose tariffs on us, and we have, it's stopped for the next 30 days. We still don't know. Something could come out in the works where they don't come out with an agreement. But the agreement now is that Mexico will deploy 10,000 troops to help with the border, right? Great. No lie. That's a great thing, right? However, this was something that Biden had already worked out. He worked this out in 2021. As you guys see here, these articles, Joe Biden orders immigration crackdown. Mexico sends 10,000 troops to patrol borders. So this was in 2021. He had already did that. Now, some people might be saying, well, if he did that, then why didn't it work, or what's going on with that? Now, I will say one thing. Obviously, that 10,000, I was going to say $10,000. 10,000 troops, obviously, that only helped a small portion. But again, with Trump ordering 10,000, is this 10,000 more, or is this the 10,000 that was already supposed to be at the border? We don't have any details on this. So who's to say that this is going to work either? So is that 10,000 that Mexico's sending? Is that 10,000 that's already there? And Claudia, the Mexico president, is just basically reiterating something that was already worked out? Or is this 10,000 more? We don't have clarification, but Trump is going to take this as a win. Like, oh, see, we were tough on Mexico, and now they have to deploy 10,000, which more than likely those 10,000 troops are already there. I don't think this is additional, and I don't think this is anything new. Kind of leads us into what's going on with Canada, right? So Justin Trudeau, he had released a tweet, right? And I just have a portion of it because that 1.3 billion, that was already a thing. The 1.3 billion on the border, that was worked out in December. This is nothing new. And that clip that I had showed you guys earlier when we first started the video, as you see, that was stated on Saturday that he said, hey, we're already working and we're cracking down on this. Let me pull that up before I read this for you guys.
Be implementing a $1.3 billion border plan where they talk about reinforcing the border. I should note that's actually something that Trudeau announced and Canada announced back in December, about mid-December.
We launched a $1.3 billion border plan that is already showing results because we too are devastated by the scourge that is fentanyl. A drug that is...
Yeah, this happened back in December. Now, the only thing new, and the reason why I wanted to point out this part, was in regards to a fentanyl czar. Again, we don't have czars here in America. A czar is an emperor, for those of you who don't know what an actual czar is. Remember, they were calling Kamala Harris the border czar, even though that's not what her job was. However, let's continue. So Trudeau, basically what he added was, in addition, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada-U.S. joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I have also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will be backing it with $200 million. So essentially, this was what and there's a longer version of the press conference, but this was essentially what he was saying on Saturday. So again, he's appointing a fentanyl czar. That's the only difference. But as far as the 1.3 billion, he had already worked on that. That was something already in the works. That was nothing new. But again, Trump is going to take this as a win. But here's the thing. If Trump just wanted help on the border, why didn't he just ask for that? Why did he impose these tariffs to then make Canada and Mexico respond and then tank the markets? The stock market was tanked. And then now it's starting to recover now that there's a supposed deal on the table. However, he didn't have to do any of this. But of course, Trump wants to start a problem and then quote unquote fix it and then take the credit for it, even though these were things already in the works. Yeah, it's the same old story that he did back when he was first president. Again, a lot of people forgot about 2017 and 2021. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to give this guy a new chance, no. He's still the same guy that he was back then. He will never change. However, again, this is what some of you voted for. This is what you voted for. This smoke and mirrors. Because let me tell you, with these imposed tariffs, which they still have 10% on China, let me remind you, China was supposed to get more tariffs than everybody else. Everyone, like Canada and Mexico, was supposed to be 20%. And then China was supposed to be taxed heavily on the tariffs. However, they only got 10%, which China is actually going to fight. They're going to talk to the World Trade and actually try to stop that 10% tariff. So what's going on with that? But our allies, like Canada and Mexico, we want to pressure them. It absolutely makes no sense why we would pressure them more than we would China. But again, don't forget, Elon has business in China. So anything that's going to affect Elon, he's not going to mess with that. He's not going to mess with that. So again, you got to think about the overall picture. Why is he not this tough on China as he once said he was going to be? It's because Elon has dealings in China. Now, again, heavily in Canada and in Mexico, Elon does have businesses there too. However, I don't know if he thinks like, oh, I can do without them. But China is one of the bigger markets. So again, pay attention to all the players because let's be honest, Elon is more the president than Donald Trump is. Elon wants access to Social Security and also our Social Security numbers. He's not an elected official. He doesn't need access to anything like that. But again, this is what you guys voted for. I have to remind you. I'm sorry. This is what half the country voted for. So here you go. It's served to you on a silver platter. And now you have to deal with the repercussions of this shit show. I don't know what other word to tell you. A shit show, literally. All the smoke and mirrors. But granted, there's probably policies that they're trying to push through that we're not even paying attention to. We're paying attention to the red meat, the DEI and everything like that. But we're not paying attention to what's actually going on. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video was to let you guys know, like, hey, this was something already in the works. This is nothing new. So if anything, we should say thank you, former President Joe Biden. Everything that Trump does, we should thank Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. That's what we should do. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you guys think about the video. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you want more